If you're clicking this video, you already know the power of ChatGPT. I'm going to show you how to use AI in your daily workflow so you can automate all the boring tasks in your business or even life for that matter. We're going to walk through this step by step. We're going to start off with a super simple example so you understand how OpenAI and ChatGPT works on Zapier. And from there, once you have the basics down, you can implement this into any of your current workflows. We're going to start new ones so that you can automate your life. Let's get started. So here I have an empty Zap workflow. I think the example I'm going to use for you guys is creating the agenda for every single meeting in your calendar. This is something that's typically done manually by someone, or else it stays the same every single week because nobody actually wants to do it. This is one of those little tasks you can just give to AI, and it's one of those one and done things, right? It's going to do it well, it's going to do it right, and you don't have to worry about it. And again, this is a super simple example, but I want to show you guys how this works, and you can start applying this in your own workflows. So for the trigger here, I personally use Google Calendar, so that's what I'm going to pick. Make sure you're signed in over here. If you're not, just click sign in, put in your password, and it should all be integrated. There should be no issues there. And for the trigger event, I'm going to click on new event over here, right? And the reason why I'm clicking new event is because every time a new event's created, I want to automatically add in, populate that actual agenda. From here, I'm going to click continue. The calendar that I want is my personal calendar. If you have separate calendars, feel free to pick whatever you want. Concept's the same. I'm going to click continue. And then from there, I'm going to click test trigger here. What this is going to pull up is your most recently created calendar events. So if I click on event C here, you're going to notice this is a YouTube video about ChatGPT plus Zapier. That's what I created for testing purposes. And that is this event over here. For you, it's going to be different, whatever was the last event you created. If nothing shows up here, then just go on your Go calendar, make a new event, and it will populate here. So no issues there. From here, I want to use AI to look at this title here and accordingly make an agenda for this actual meeting. And this is something that, again, typically somebody would look at this title, they would create an agenda. I want to do this automatically. So in the actual action, I'm going to search up OpenAI. I'm going to use ChatGPT, but feel free to use Claude, Mistral. The model doesn't really matter. The concepts are the same. I'm just trying to show what's something that you guys probably already know. If this is not signed in here, then just make sure to sign in. You might have to enter your developer API key in there, so I can show you guys how to do that real quick. If you go to this URL over here, you're probably not going to have anything. So you're just going to click on new secret key. Your API key is kind of the doorway to your OpenAI account because you're charged every time you make an API request. This is how that whole validation and connection process happens between your OpenAI account and Zapier. So I'm just going to click on new test key or type in new test key. Project doesn't really matter. Click create new secret key and just copy this into the little login window it's going to have for Zapier, and you should be good. I'm going to delete this for now. Make sure not to share this with anyone because then they will be able to access your account and just charge an unlimited amount if they wanted to. From here, I'm going to click on action events. So here we have a lot of different events we can pick from. We can analyze text sentiment. We can classify text. So if you've got some kind of text and you want to put it into different categories, you can do that. Convert text to speech, create a transcription, which is the same as just going from speech to text. Translation. The one we're going to pick is going to be send prompt. This is the same as going on ChatGPT and clicking enter. We give it a prompt and we get a response back. So in our case, we want to create a prompt so that it generates an agenda for us based on the title of this calendar event over here, and it's going to give back that actual agenda to us. So I'm going to click on continue. Model, again, you can pick whatever you want here. We've got O1, the new model. We've got 4.0, we got 3.5. It doesn't really matter. For me, I'm just going to pick the base model because I don't want to be charged too much. But these are this is less than even a cent to run this multiple times. So that really should not be an issue. In terms of the actual prompt, it's just like ChatGPT. You can go as intense, as crazy as you want. I'm going to keep this really simple. I'm going to say, write an agenda for the meeting. Keep it simple. Have a numbered list. Again, think of this as clicking enter on a ChatGPT. How detailed do you want your prompt to be? I'm going to keep it simple for this video, but go crazy with this. In terms of the actual thing that I want to base the agenda off of, it will be the summary here. It's called summary. It's actually the title over here, but that's what the calendar API calls it. And let me make this more specific. Write an agenda for the meeting based on the title given. And keep it simple, have a numbered list. And then before I actually populate my calendar title, I'm just going to say title over here so that it knows it's the title. You don't need it. And then in a second, you're going to see how all this looks stitched together. So for temperature, 0.7 is fine with me. That's how creative the model is. 0 is essentially zero creativity, and 1 is as creative as it can be. The rest of these parameters, you don't really need to play with them. I've got a separate video on prompt engineering if you're interested in that. And then when I click continue, you're going to notice The full prompt is write an agenda for the meeting based on the title given, keep it simple, have a numbered list, and the title is populated from back here, right? If you remember in the testing events, we clicked on this event. That is how it's getting this value. I'm gonna click on test step here, and now it's gonna press enter into like the ChatGPT prompt, and the response we get back, agenda, introduction and welcome, overview of the purpose and goals of the meeting, explanation of ChatGPT and Zapier, right? This is gonna be pretty generic stuff because the prompt I gave was pretty generic. From here, now we have the actual agenda. I wanna put this in here so that I don't have to kind of go back and forth into ChatGPT, click on enter and have to go back to that tab again, right? That's the whole automation process. So I'm gonna click on a new action. I'm gonna add a new step. I'm gonna click on go calendar. And now we actually have an event, but we wanna update that event. So there should be an update event field here, updates an event, only fields are required, so that's fine. Make sure you're signed in. I'm gonna click on continue. And so now this is super important, right? I'm gonna click on my email here, and instead of having a static value, we want a custom value. Static means that it stays the same for every single Zap, which is not what we want, right? Like instead of this event, if I create a new event, I want to make sure that the agenda goes into that event, not this event over here. Hopefully that's making sense. So whatever event's created, we want to dynamically add that to that event itself, which is why we're going to click on custom over here. And I believe this wants the ID here, so that's what I'm going to add here. So now this particular event in this case is linked to this Zapier action over here. And the only thing I'm going to add here is the actual agenda we made in this previous step over here. So I'm going to click on slash, send prompt, and the response is what we want to populate in here. And yeah, I mean, that should be about it. If you want to play with some of these other fields, like change the color, maybe change the time, you can. For this case, this is about AI, so I'm going to keep it simple. And I'm going to click on continue. And you're going to notice, right, this is empty over here. I'm going to click on test step. It's going to do its thing. And when I know it's done, I'm going to refresh this page. And you're going to notice the agenda has been populated. So automatically, just like that, we have the agenda every single time an event's created, so you no longer have to worry about this. That's going to wrap up this video. Hopefully you guys found this useful. Subscribe if you want more videos like this. Comment if you have any questions. And if you want to see how I automated responding to your actual inbox, so in your email, instead of having a real person do it, it automatically replies back, watch this video over here. Thanks for watching. Bye.